Maika,
Yes.
Yes.
you made some splashes just a few weeks ago
Okay.
on social media, I think accidentally.
Right, because I'm like, what splash?
Yeah, you're like,
I
uh-oh,
didn't
what's a
even
splash?
know. Right.
Well, one thing that Lex is working through and that I'm excited to watch her grow through is co-parenting.
Okay.
I met Alexis through her ex-partner, and that's how we got to know each other. And so as she's, welcome to Casa Lex.
Right.
As she's gotten her own crib.
Yeah.
As she's like figured out what mothering looks like kind of as a single mother with help with a co-parent. It's been an interesting journey watching her really fall into it well. I saw you. You're welcome. I saw you post a few weeks ago that now you in my city, you in New York.
I know, that's why I'm like,
Yeah, girl. I saw you was in
Okay,
New York, but I
yeah,
also
New
saw
York.
you babysitting. I think you're babysitting while your co-parent went on a date, and I don't know if that's usually I'm just gonna say it's really usually white shit.
Right.
We don't really see it in our community.
Or it's giving the Alicia Keys.
Yeah,
Disney
little
vibes.
Alicia Smith
Okay.
vibes. Yeah. So I felt like as someone that sits next to Lex on her co-parenting journey, I would love to hear about what co-parenting has been for you and what that journey is like.
Well, yeah, I met Alexis when she was with her ex too, and I was with my ex at the time or whatever. So it is different. I mean, it is crazy just like where life takes you for one. But for me, I really pride myself on being a mother first. So like I'm a mom first. So all the time my son needs and what's best for him doesn't necessarily align with what's best for me, which is okay because I pride myself on being a mom first, So at this point right now where I'm at with co-parenting, it's like we're a family.
Yes, forever.
Yeah, me and
a
his
lot of time
father-
put in.
Right, yeah, honestly. So I've always looked at Derek as family. It's been like 14 years. We've known each other now, I think going on 15 years. And he has a new family. He has a fiance. They have 2 children.
Beautiful.
Me and his other daughter, Layla, we're best friends. Let you know that
cute.
now.
So cute.
Let you know that now. So shout out my BFF. But it's just, I feel like messiness and drama is so glorified now, and it's so quick to go viral for being like, what F that or not, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
yes.
I do feel like there's not a lot of people that stand for positive, or it's just not acknowledged. And I feel like since day one on both ends, because I can't say that would just be something that's easy for Elena either, but from the beginning, it's like it could have went either way, but I made the decision that I'm going to do what's best for my son. Even when he first met his sister, it's like an emotional thing, but like when he first met his sister when she was a baby, I remember my mom took him down there to meet, but when they sent me a picture of PJ holding her, he was just so happy. Like, just so happy. He's so little. He, like, didn't have his front tooth. Like, he was so happy. So, and then, but even looking at the picture, it's like I was crying.
Yeah.
But, like, sad crying. But at the same time, it was like, this is a narrative that I can control.
That's right.
And from the beginning, it's like, nah, we're not going that route. We're not going the petty route. We're not doing the subliminals. We're not doing any of that. It's given like, my child loves this child already and they're connected.
Yeah.
That's his sister.
That's
and
right.
we're going to move forward with love. So I'm not going to say that it was just overnight and you know what I mean? Everything was just best friends, but I always had in my mind to do what was godly, do what was best for my child. So I moved in that motion. So where we are today is like, that's my girl. Like, that's really, like, we're cool. Like, that's
absolutely.
my girl. I've been in a relationship since Derek. It's just, I don't publicly post it. So I feel like people's last memory of me is associated with him. So that can kind of get tricky sometimes because it's
tricky.
like, they just don't know. But it's like, maybe 2 other men that broke my heart.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Just for the record.
you know,
Yes,
so it's
yes,
like,
yes.
that's not the reality of it, but we are genuinely family. I live in New York now, so PJ could be
Beautiful.
closer to his father.
Yeah.
So Derek gets him from the bus stop at times, or he'll take him to school. And he could go to every game he wants to go to. He sees his siblings whenever he wants. But yeah, Elena and Derek, they had like a Knicks date night, and I wanted to watch she asked, could I watch the kids? I'm like, girl, yeah. So we had it. But that's not, I know it probably seems abnormal but that's like our life, and it works for us.
But I think you hit it on the head, right? There's not enough examples of that.
I feel like there's,
which is why it was shocking.
Yeah.
Right. It was shocking for so many people because we don't see it successfully working. We
and
only
like
see the
always
alternative.
they want to pin us against each other, no matter what, or compare a pin, or Maika wouldn't do that, Elena wouldn't do that. Like there's always a comparison, a pin, and it's like, y'all don't even, like, we could be sitting next to each other as they're doing this. You get what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't know. But it's just something that works for us, and it works for my son, and it works for their children. Their children are happy. My son is happy. So you get what I'm saying? I just want to do what's best for my child. So even if it doesn't align with, like, it's probably not best for me mentally to live in New York, and you get what I'm saying? But my son is really, really happy. So
that's what matters.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
So how has it been with you though? Like, has it been different navigating it?
It has been tough. Now, finally, just recently, we are now in the same city. So it's been better to like go back and forth, and for the children to have time with both parents. But at the same time, like my oldest is a senior, and then it's 3 in high school right now. So it has been tough.
That is critical times for them to need both parents. So
that's right.
I commend you for even, because it is hard. I just feel like people don't realize how much strength it takes to be on this side of it, like to be willing to communicate. And because it's easy to block somebody and just not deal with it. And we see that glorified every day. Like, oh, such and such, and their baby mama's into it, and it's cute, and this,
no, it's not
you get
cute.
What I'm saying?
It's toxic.
So,
and it trickles, and I've said this before.
The children.
It trickles. Yes. We cannot bring the toxicity or whatever it was that didn't work out with our our exes into parenting. At the end of the day, both of us are going to discipline. Both of us got to check them grades. Both of us got to make sure you at school on time. The core of parenting and what we're instilling in our children is for the lifelong blood of the legacy that we created at the end of the day. And so I think it is so crucial that communication has to stay on par. It takes a village to raise these kids. And at the end of the day, the kids need both parents. 100%.
I think the way that both of you guys are speaking is like with so much strength, and it's so courageous, and it's all of the things that sound admirable. But Lex, what does it feel like to communicate with somebody who at times you can't stand?
It's tough. It's definitely tough. But what Maika was saying earlier, it's about the kids. It's really about them and setting an example for them, because not all of their relationships are going to work out. That's not normal. Like, it's not that you're going to be with the same person. We hope and wish and pray and, would love that to happen. That's not realistic. So it's still about communicating, and it still is also about teaching. We're teaching them how to communicate.
It
takes time.
We're
it
probably at
overnight.
2 different stages of it. Like, this has been some years for me. You get what I'm saying? I'm not, again, I don't want it to be like I woke up and just like, oh, y'all come on over.
That's what I'm trying to that's where I'm really trying to get at.
So it's like, it's nothing Derek could really do where I can't stand him right now. You get what I'm saying? Like, we're just in different places. I mean, maybe with parenting or something, like he disciplines PJ different, or
of course,
or it'd be like he'll think his word goes, but it's like, I'm a full-time mom and PJ's always with me. So it's like, no, we're going to do it. So it might be those type of little things, but we're to the point, like, if Derek isn't talking what I want to talk, I'll text Elena, hey, girl, so.
Right.
She was like, girl, get your baby daddy. I'm like, no, girl, you get him, because I don't know what he's talking about, but we're going to, you know what I mean?
I love it.
But again, I feel like give yourself grace and time, because it's not an overnight thing, but if you just keep it in your mind that you're trying to do what's best for your children, then in the long run, you're going in the right direction already. I want to just commend you for even, noticing and caring enough that you don't want to affect your children
Absolutely.
in a negative way.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I think that I'll offer the same commending across the board, because the only way that you can prioritize your children's needs and wants first is to have actually healed yourself.
No, I agree.
Or prioritizing healing you where you don't believe your emotions come first.
Right.
And like that's what I think takes time. So even for women that are kind of navigating this process right now, maybe in the earlier stages, like you were saying, that are earlier on, that it's like, it might be okay to take a moment out to heal you and then reintroduce what your new normal will be.
Correct.
Took a good, like, I want to say, I didn't speak to Derek for maybe a good 6.5 months. No communication. Couldn't do it in the beginning. Very childish, but it was but I never kept PJ away. So it's always given. He communicated to me through my mom or through my dad. So when he wanted to see him, he text my mom or dad. My mom or dad get on the flight, take him, whatever. But I couldn't even face it yet. I couldn't face dealing with it yet or whatever.
Because you're also mourning a lot.
It feels like a death or something. It's like, it's like mourning. And I do want to reiterate, me speaking on my past or my story, it's not like being stuck, or it's not
at all.
No.
Not at all.
Not like anything negative on any other parties. Everyone's moved on. People just paint narratives that are so far away from the truth that sometimes it's like, I mean, you just want your voice heard. Not even heard, you just want it to be clear.
We also don't want to glorify the negative.
No, everyone's happy. We're good. Me and Elena probably talk more than me and some of my friends. Like text back and forth and memes and all of that. You know what I mean? So at the place I'm at now, it's good, but it does not come without a backstory.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I think I also work on Angie Martinez podcast, and she had Ashanti on.
Okay.
After all that kind of Irv Gotti stuff that happened. And there were some journalists that had written articles that said, when I first saw she was sitting down with Angie, I was a little bummed because I always admired her for taking the high road and keeping her story to herself.
But that's like letting someone else paint your narrative or
or suppressing the pain too.
Both.
In a way.
Because Derek's very private. And of course, he's not going to have an interview where they're like, hey, so what happened with your ex? Or what you get what I'm saying? He's a man. So that's not going to ever happen. So
Correct.
No one's ever going to get that story. So I've gotten so many different versions of my life or this story that isn't even true. So it's just like, at what time it's still, this is my story. And I never want to speak my truth. And it's like, I'm exposing somebody. It's not that deep because we're good. We're family. We're happy now. You know what I mean?
So we're in the public eye. Yeah. It comes with the territory. So I think it's positive. This is a great platform for us to be able to speak our truth and let everyone know that you can co-parent. You can go on vacations together. You can be in the same city. You could be in the same radius, because it's not about us. It's about these babies. It's about these babies.
It's a lot of why I started Dear Young Queen is because I actually went through a traumatic breakup that basically my story was being told for me. And I let the story be told until I realized that there is a way to claim your own voice and your own story without, like you said, bashing somebody or negating somebody else's experience.
Right.
But the idea of hiding your own story because you're protecting other people will never allow you to live in your fullness.
And that's where I felt for a long time. It was like, at what point can I tell my story without exposing someone else's lies? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was never 100%. The goal, because even then it comes off bitter. It comes off this and that. And it's just like, I had to try to silently heal. So that makes you just go through like a very depressing time. And I know I can remember it being like 3 months of me just not wanting to leave the room, like just darkness. So it's like
it's heavy.
With all eyes on you, but without you being able to say anything about all. You get what I'm saying? So you posting a new Chanel and I'm posting this, and I just gotta keep going on. You know what I mean?
It's really messed up that you could sit at a space with two other women that could feel it so internally in our cores.
Yeah.
this desire to want to feel better, but not knowing where you can go to feel better. The desire to want to correct people.
Space.
Yeah.
Correct.
The desire to want to correct people, but not correct people without looking bitter or mean or upset. You're not alone in that experience. And I do think that it's like, as we continue to build spaces like Dear Young Queen and women like you continue to use your voice, it can be normalized. That sharing your story is not bashing someone else. That sharing your story sometimes has to wait until you're healed.
It's education.
Like
timing is everything.
Timing is everything. Timing is everything. So listen, I'm glad that you're choosing to show what positive co-parenting looks like.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I am glad that you're choosing to embrace your voice and your story because you honestly just don't know how many other women, the same way we felt here with Chills. Like we know.
Yes.
There's
or
a whole
people
bunch.
DM me or even close parents that ask me questions like, sis, I'm not letting my kids go, but what do you think? I'm like, girl, let them kids go, see they daddy. And
Yes, they
and
should.
Then,
we
again,
need
like,
the
if
break.
it's-
Don't you need the break?
Hello? Like,
Don't you need the break?
And then sometimes in certain situations, if it's like unhealthy or the father isn't consistent, children are very intuitive as well. And they can feel energies or whatever. So if you let them go and then they know something isn't right, that's something they learned. It's like, let them go, because if you don't, it's always going to be painted as you kept your children away from this man. You get what I'm saying? And he tried so hard and he was dad of the year and he was a superhero that you kept him away from.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Let them go
It's like, let
experience
them
a
superhero.
superhero.
Yes. So then when you go there and he drop you off at grandma's house, and you know, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, you just got to let go. If you know for a fact harm's way won't come to your children while they're with their father, let them kids go.
In hindsight, it's been helpful for me now on my new journey of being a businesswoman. I'm just like, I need the time, I need the space, and I need that extra voice still to help me co-parent these babies because these hormones, oh man, let me tell you, they out of control. So I need
Hopefully
some
you're
help.
not there yet. Hopefully
need
you're not.
some help.
Hopefully you're not there yet.